Okay guys, we're gonna be putting this together in a few, but with a little twist. I'm gonna be using that. Okay, it's time for us to assemble this shop press that I bought. Got a little spot for it here, just out of the way, perfectly so I can use it. But the one thing I'm not gonna use when I assemble it is the 20-ton jack. I'm gonna use this. I bought this a long time ago, and I'm gonna replace it with this one. Has the trigger for the air, and you can let it up manually as well, right here. So I'm gonna replace the manual 20-ton jack with this. It's also a 20-ton. We'll also be using Verilog. Let me turn on my new shop light. Wow, you got light, extra light. And let's get started. So I guess the easiest way to assemble this, or the quickest way as well as the easiest way, is to lay it out how it's made, how it's designed. So we're gonna do just that. I'm gonna lay it out for you guys. Okay guys, we got it laid out. I'm gonna show you guys how to lay it out. Just kind of look over it thoroughly, get a visual of how I got things, and you'll be able to assemble this within minutes. Within minutes. I got all the sockets you'll need, the tools that's required. You don't have to use impacts or cordless tools. You can use a ratchet to do it by hand, or a wrench, even a wrench. Boxed in wrench, open in wrench, knock this out in no time. But here we go. I'll show you guys the layout. These are the legs. This is the leg. This is the leg. These are supports. They go one here and one goes here. You'll see all this in a second. I'm just showing you guys. So you want to lay out like this. You got these 4 bolts here for the leg to the side beam. Got these for the longer ones. They're a little longer. It's 2 of them. That goes from here through this lower support beam through here. So they're a little longer through these bottom 2. You guys are gonna see all this. Just wanna let you guys see how to lay it out. You can knock this out really quickly. I've kind of made it so you can just take a look visually and map yours out and install this in minutes. There's the 4 bolts, the smaller bolts, the 2 bolts, got them offset. We're using thread lock. Although these have nylon lock nuts, torque specs are not required, but we're gonna use some thread lock to make sure this thing's secure. You can use 11/16, it's a little loose, and 17 millimeter fits perfect, but both will work. You guys can see the, hold it up. Get you guys down in there really good. Got a little play, and the 17 millimeter fits like a glove, but you can't get away with the 11/16 without stripping out. And that goes the same for here. The larger bolts, we'll be up in a second, but let me walk you guys through it. So this is just the layout. We know this middle section is gonna slide on the side beams or the legs. This is the part with the press sets on. Got the 2 bolts there. These are 9/16 or 14 millimeter work. We're gonna use the 14 millimeter deep well socket if we need to, but it shouldn't be required to use a deep well socket because it's look how thick this is. So I might just swap these out just for some regular 14 millimeter sockets, but you can't use a 9/16 or 14 millimeter. It fits the same, but the 14 millimeter just fits more snugly on the nuts. And you got the larger bolts for the upper part of this support. These are 24 millimeter, fits good. 15/16 fits really good as well. So, you guys can see here, this is the 15/16. Actually fits super good in here. Look at that, like a glove. And the 24 millimeter maybe a fit. Got a loose fit to it. Fits well as well, but they both fit. It is good. Surprisingly on this boat. So probably use the 15, 16. I really like how that fit. And the same as the other side. So also, these are the pins or larger pins that lock in place. Just slide through there so you can adjust the height of which is the item you want to press. But it was super easy setup. I'll use this crate to start off to support this beam. I got light here, just for extra light from over here because I want you guys to see everything. And I'm filming in 4K, so yeah, we're gonna get started. But this is the layout. So just lay it out just like this. We'll walk across it so you guys can do this in minutes. Install this setup in minutes, within minutes. The only thing will hold us up is I'm gonna replace that for this. I'll use it pneumatically opposed to using it manually. Okay guys, since I'm by myself, to get a more steady video and to keep things moving smoothly, just got another crate, 2x400, using the jack to keep my height perfectly. Now it's just a smooth install, so let's do the other side. We're not gonna tighten them down yet. We're gonna squeeze some thread locker in each one of them before we tighten them down. Make sure the legs are straight as well. So let's knock the other side out. Trap it. Here's the good side. Done. Now we can stand it up. I don't know what's wrong with, I haven't used this in a while, so it's coming out. It's hard to come out. When it does come out, they want to pour out all over the place. Guys can see we're even, and let's stand it up. So the next step will be the support pin, so we can slide this middle section on to give us some stability right now. You guys can see we're square, we're perfectly square. If you can look, they're bowing out. They're bowing out because there's no stability. So let's put the supportings in. It doesn't matter which holes, just put them in each hose. Make sure it's even, and then we're gonna slide that middle section on right here. So now that we got this in place, guys, let's slide this section down, and then we'll do the top section. We'll move on to this. Guys, you can totally skip this step. The only reason I did this, just to keep things in the floor or how I laid it out on the ground. Other than that, this is not necessary. You can install this part later when you're done. Since I am by myself, I'm going to put a bolt on each side. I'll hold it up while I do so. Pretty sure you want it facing like so, not the other way. Also, since I'm by myself, before adding this additional weight, I know placement is going right there, so I'm gonna get close as I can. Since I am by myself and I can shift it easy or slide it over in place. I see these holes installed, maybe for some casters. I may add some later, but not now. I don't want to roll it around. I don't need it to maneuver in here. Maybe when I start installing things into the pole barn, I'll add some casters to it. It will be simple. Just tilt it, brace it on something, and just put one on each foot. So let's install the top section. You don't got to make it hard for yourself by trying to hold it up. You can actually just let it swing down here and just get one bolt installed and raise it up and install the other ones. So work smarter, not harder. So let's get the rest of the bolts installed and let's drill them up. There is numbering on these nuts, so I'm facing the numbers towards the back, even the smooth part towards the front. They're about the same height. We can adjust these as we go as far as the tension for the springs. You have to hang these up now. Now we want to worry about mounting the jack. If I were to use this jack that came with it, there's holes, one on each side to hold it in place, to hold it firmly in place. And it has these 6mm Allen key. Got all three of these. So all three of these are 6mm. This is the best fit for 6mm. Since I'm not using this, I have to make some more holes for the jack that I am using. So I'm gonna do that now to make sure it seats up in here firmly. They pretty much have the same diameter head at the top of this jack. You can see here, same diameter, so it'll fit directly in here. This is actually a little larger, but let me start mounting where this is gonna seat it, so I can get the correct position for the holes, so don't mess up. So I will sit it up here and put the jack in place. I am gonna have to buy some longer these hooks because I really don't want no tension on these springs, since mine's is a little taller. Since this jack is a little taller than this one, there's gonna be tension on these springs out the gate. I don't want that much tension, so I'm gonna replace these, but just doing this for now. Also, I wanna note, look at this. It's in position here. Let me show you. It's in position there, but it's not in position here. And this because this has to, if you want to face the opposite way, it's perfect. But the logo or the label won't be facing the front. Or not, most importantly, you won't be able to jack it from the front of the machine. So you want to rotate. I'm not sure what my phone turned off at, but it just shut down. But like I was saying, to get this, to get the jack to face the correct way, you have to rotate this around. But now that we're back from, I went to Menards, got the parts. Guys, I was explaining the parts in this section of the video when I was in Menards. However, I just uploaded and got some copyright music. You can barely hear the music in the background, so I decided to re-upload it with me just showing what size bolt this is. It's a coarse bolt. It's an 8mm eye bolt that came with the press, and I replaced it with some longer hooks. I will show that part. You will see me explaining that part, or hear me explaining that part in a second. But this section had the copyright music in it, and you can barely hear it, so I don't know why that happened, but we're just gonna talk over it, and you guys will see me showing the bolt size right now. It's an 8mm, like I said, and I'll explain a little bit more in a second. You guys will hear me actually talk. So let's get past this part and keep it moving. So equivalent to these 8mm are the 5/16, pretty much equivalent to them. And the only size they got is 6-inch. This is a 5-inch. It's a 6-inch, so it's just an inch longer, nothing more. It's pretty much just the bolt here, the 5-inch. This is the exact same size. So this is the 5-inch. This is what pretty much comes with it. So it's a little over 5-inch, so about 5 1/4 inches. My other only option is they do have a 5/16 hook. This will work. So these are perfect, these 7-inch. These are perfect. This is the one that came with it. So we're gonna grab these four. Let's see what works best. So there's maybe an approximate difference because I'm trying to gauge about maybe 1.5 inches. Inch and a half or 1 5/8 height difference. One is about possibly 10 3/4 or 10 5/8, and the other is possibly 9 1/4. I'm not sure. 9 1/4, 9 1/8. Since I can't get directly up on it, just kind of gauging it. But so we're doing an approximate estimate of probably 1.5 inches height difference. So we may can use. This is the eye bolt that came with it. We may can use difference, although this is about 1 inch difference, or a little under 1 inch. So one is a little bit over 5 inches. So about 5/16. Supposed to be 6 inches, so about 6 inches. So about 1 inch off. That inch is still gonna provide some tension on the spring. So we're gonna try these off. We know these will work. Also, I wasn't sure how wide the holes were, so these bolts, we couldn't go any larger because otherwise we'd have to drill the holes out. I don't want to do that. Let me bolt these up. I want to note the eye bolts that originally came with this didn't come with washers, so I want to change it. This is how it was. So the nut is pretty much holding it. Yeah, just got some giant washers. I'll use the one with the hex sides opposed to the smooth washer. I actually like these hooks better. because you can turn them and they actually keeps the spring aligned vertically. Okay, that's like perfect where I need to be at. Just even up a little bit more. Make it centered. There. So now I'll use this the 9/16 and just ratchet up until it seats firmly inside of there somewhat. But yeah, let me set up so I can actually get where my hole needs to be at. Well, you know what? I can do that last. Let me drill my holes. Let me get my holes. Let me get a marker and mark this. But yeah, this is perfect. It's nice. The pole that came with the jack works perfectly with this, and it's the same setup. It's been like this for years with this pole jack design. But yeah, I jacked it up some to kind of make sure we're centered in there. So now I can mark my spots and drill the holes, and I'll put it in the vise and drill the holes. One down, one more to go. It's kind of offset. It's not gonna require much drilling, but yeah, just made it a little bit bigger so the bolt can fit through. We're done. Got 2 holes, so let's mount this and finish this video off. All right, got both bolts aligned. Screw them in, and we're just gonna test it out, guys. We're gonna see how it functions. So let me bolt this down, and then we're gonna work on these. Okay, guys, that's it. We're there. Just firmly inside of that hole, not too tight, not running up against this. I can move this, so we're just barely in there. There's no tension on the springs, and yeah, I like the hooks. It's just been perfect. Pretty much the same. I may have to come. This one's a little farther out, so I'll adjust these so they can be even. That's about even. And also, we're still in place perfectly. And look at this. No tension. No tension, just loose. One thing I'm gonna do, probably not off camera, I got some pad. I'm gonna put a nice pad here on both sides. I don't like how slippery that is, so I'll put a pad on both sides, and I may do something about this, because look at that. Although it's long enough, these pins are long enough, I don't like how they move in, so I don't know, I got a bag of O-rings, and I'll probably slip them, just roll them, one on each end, rubber O-rings. I got all different sizes, assortment of sizes, so I'll just probably find this size and just roll it on there, one that fits on there firmly, and just roll on each side to kind of hold it in place so it can stay balanced like so. I don't have none to press right now, so forgive me for that. This is mostly just a how to do it quickly and just upgrade. If you did decide to go with this jack, they recommend that you kind of check the fluid level. Sometimes they come from the factory not filled up, and if it doesn't work properly, you have to bleed this jack, but we're not using it. We're gonna put it back in the box. Also come with these plates. I'm gonna get quite a few more different kinds. So that's why I'm gonna pad it, because these are slippery. You know, they're slipping off, and they weight. They got some nice weight to them. Maybe about 10 pounds each. Pretty thick metal, about 1 inch. So we'll set those on here. And so, I mean, of course, gravity and weight is holding them down, but I'm gonna put a nice little pad on both of them. As you can guys see the pneumatic part of this bottle jack. You know, about a maybe, I think 42-inch length hose. And it has the trigger handle like this. I'll show you guys how both of them function real quick, how it's gonna function with both. Let's see how it jacks down pneumatic. Okay, let's test it. Okay guys, that's a wrap as far as we go. So let's see how smooth and that's up. Go fast, you want? Oh wow. Kind of glad we did that. Now you can kind of fine tune it because it stretched these springs out. They were new, so I stretched them out. Look how far we came down. So now I can adjust. These are fine tuned to get back in there, but yeah, you want to kind of make your adjustments after the first initial press. You want to make your adjustments on the spring to keep it firmly in there. Look, we came down about an inch. Let me make these fine tunes and that'll be it. It'll be a wrap for this video. Okay, it's a wrap, guys. So I hope you found this video helpful, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content I'm posting. Hit that notification bell so you guys be notified when I upload new content. Since there's no place to put the pole, on the jack pole, I just got these cheap set of magnets. They sell me on Harbor Freight as well. Pack 3, pack of 2. I think I've assortment of 6, but just 2 of these. It's up here firmly. It's not going anywhere. Don't look bad neither.